What are 5 movies that you need to watch right now? Well, don't touch that dial because I'm about ready to tell you right now. Stay tuned. What is up, everybody, and welcome back to the Mid-Level Media channel. I am Ken, and I'm here today for another round of random movie recommendations. I haven't got a chance to do one of these videos since I believe last December. I think I did some Christmas recommendations, and yeah, these are super fun videos to do. I love doing them. I started it during October when I was recommending a bunch of horror movies, and basically what I do with this is I kind of use it as an excuse to just gush about and talk about movies that either I've been watching recently or just kind of looking back to the past at movies that I've loved since I was a kid, or movies that I've loved in the past few years that I've seen. Basically just kind of giving myself the opportunity to recommend movies to you guys to watch, movies that I don't think get enough credit, don't think are appreciated enough, and that I think that more people need to see if they haven't yet. So yeah, these are always super fun videos to make. And if you've seen one of these videos before, you know that I don't just recommend and talk about the movie to you. I also tell you where you can stream it at, what streaming service to find it on. I also let you know, because this is a physical media based channel for the most part, I also let you know what editions there are, where you can buy it, how much it is, and just kind of give you all that perspective and option to watch this film in whatever way you wish. But before we get into the recommendations, guys, I want to ask that you guys, please, if you haven't yet, hit that subscribe button. I would definitely appreciate it. If this is your first time joining me here on the Mid-Level Media channel, welcome to the channel. Hit the subscribe button for more great content. And also, guys, if you can, take a few moments and hit that like button for me. I would definitely appreciate it. And also comment down below if you have any thoughts on any of the movies that I'm getting ready to discuss. If any of them are some of your favorite films, let me know down in that comment section below. But let's go ahead and get into it, guys, with my first random recommendation. And this is a movie that I just finished watching this morning. Actually, by the time that I get this video up, it'll probably be yesterday morning. But When Harry Met Sally, and I actually have a DVD copy of this. I think I found this at a Goodwill like a year or something ago for like $1 or $2 or whatever. If you see real closely right there, it has that yes, yes, yes sticker down at the bottom. I kept that on there because I really liked it. But yeah, this is a really cool DVD cover. I mean, I like it. But let's talk about the movie a little bit, guys, because I'm doing something on my Instagram page, and I can plug that here real quick. It's hashtag All You Need Is Love Movies. It's my monthly event on my Instagram page, and I'm going to try to review like a bunch of romantic movies, rom-coms, love movies all throughout the month of February because of Valentine's Day. And this is just a classic rom-com that I have never seen before. And yeah, I just watched it today. This movie's directed by Rob Reiner, starring, of course, Billy Crystal, Meg Ryan. This movie kind of blew me away a little bit. Like, I expected it to be good because it's a classic for a reason, but I didn't know if it was going to be good in like that 80s cheese kind of way. Kind of like what Trading Places was. I reviewed that on the channel a couple of weeks ago. But no, like this movie holds up so incredibly well, does not feel dated. Like the dialogue is insanely good, so smartly, brilliantly written by I believe Nora Ephron is her name. She directed Sleepless in Seattle, but she just wrote this one along with Rob Reiner, who directed it. Yeah, I loved all the dialogue. It was so engaging, so thoughtful. The chemistry between Billy Crystal and Meg Ryan is like off the charts insane. They are so freaking charismatic and good in this film. And it's funny. Like, I laughed several times through this film. Great supporting cast. It's got Carrie Fisher in it. I don't know the guy's name, the guy that's his friend, but he's really good in it. Yeah, this movie just, it kind of blew me away. And to be honest, like it's one of my favorite romantic comedies now, having just seen it this morning. So yes, When Harry Met Sally, I cannot recommend this movie enough. I know like most everybody that watches this video has probably seen it. I was literally probably the last person on earth that hasn't. But if you haven't seen this movie and you've been on the fence about it and you think it's going to be kind of like an 80s cheese comedy romance type of movie, you couldn't be any more wrong. Like, this movie holds up so incredibly well, feels relevant to today. And yeah, it's really good. I love this movie a lot. You can get the Shout Factory edition of this movie because they do have a Shout Factory. I think it released a couple of years ago. That is $12.96 right now on Amazon. So it's an incredible edition. It's got a lot of great special features on it. You can also stream this on Hulu and Amazon if you have the Showtime subscription. Only if you have the Showtime subscription. I found that out this morning. And thank God, this is why I still buy DVDs, guys, because they come in handy. I bought this a couple of years ago and just like tossed it over there and forgot about it. And I wanted to watch it today and I had it on DVD, so I didn't have to go through streaming because it's not like officially on any streaming. It's on Fubo and Sling if you have those two subscriptions, but that's about the only way you can watch When Harry Met Sally. Moving on to my next recommendation, guys, is a film that I actually watched over the weekend. And this is a new film. This just came out on Apple TV Plus, and this movie is called Palmer, starring Justin Timberlake, directed by Fisher Stevens. And yeah, this is a movie that I've been calling this 2021's version of Peanut Butter Falcon. Just a really sweet story about this guy who's kind of a father figure to this younger boy. Just a really sweet story about these two characters who are kind of like getting into this relationship, who are kind of bonding over being like outcasts because the little boy, he has like feminine tendencies and he's getting made fun of at school, and Justin Timberlake has to kind of like step in and defend him. But it doesn't start that way. You know, he's kind of put off by the kid at first, and then it's kind of like, it's a very traditional story, and I've been seeing that criticism pop up a lot. For me, it didn't bother me that much. I was so like engaged with the characters and the emotion of the story. I thought it was extremely heartfelt. Justin Timberlake probably gives his best performance that I've ever seen him do, and I love him in The Social Network. I love him in films like Alpha Dog. He's always been a really good actor, but this movie he takes it to a whole new level. And the little boy in this movie is freaking incredible too. He's honestly like the heart of the film. And yeah, just a really good cast. I love the woman that plays the grandma. It's just a really strong movie and another strong entry in Apple TV Plus's kind of catalog. So yeah, definitely recommend Palmer. Moving on to my number 3 recommendation, guys. And this is a movie that I've been gushing about for the past couple of weeks since I've seen it. This is another one that's kind of like When Harry Met Sally. When I say it, you're going to be like, you've never seen that movie before? Are you crazy? Do you even watch movies? And that is The Green Mile, directed by Frank Darabont. Came out in 1999. So I did my 1999 month-long event back in January, where I reviewed a bunch of 1999 films that I had never seen, and this was one of them. And yeah, this is based off a Stephen King book, an adaptation. And yeah, this is one that this one, again, blew me away. I reviewed it on my Instagram page. That's where I review a lot of films. And I gave it a 10 out of 10. To me, this is a perfect film. I thought Tom Hanks was incredible. Michael Clarke Duncan is like so the heart of this movie, like the emotion he brings out. Like I was brought to tears like at least 3 to 4 times in this movie. It's like not like bawling or anything, but just like tears just like coming down my face. It's just such a good movie. There's so much emotion in this movie. Sam Rockwell's in this film as just kind of like crazy Billy the Kid type character. He's really fun in the film. You have another guy, the guy who plays the security guard, Percy. I don't know the actor's real life name, but he's like super awesome in the film as well. Is this kind of like asshole villainous type character that kind of gets his comeuppance throughout the film, and it's kind of funny the way that it happens. But yeah, a really strong film that I really enjoyed. And yeah, like I said, a perfect film. Thomas Newman's score in this movie is freaking incredible. One of my favorite scores. This guy like almost always has incredible scores, unless we're talking about the most recent The Little Things movie, which we're not talking about today. But yeah, this movie, like the score is phenomenal. The acting is phenomenal. The direction by Frank Darabont is awesome. Set design, incredible. Just the movie is a tad bit long. Like I don't think it needed to be 3 hours and 10 minutes, but to be honest, I kind of liked that it took its time to tell this story. And that's really like the only true knock I can give against it. But even that's not even really a knock. Like I said, this movie is like perfect. I loved it. The Green Mile, if you haven't seen it, definitely check it out. Streaming wise, if you have Cinemax, you can watch it on there. Otherwise, you'll have to rent it off of YouTube, Vudu, or Amazon for $3.99. You can get the Blu-ray in a double pack with the Shawshank Redemption on Amazon for $9.99. Now, if you want it just by itself, it's $19.99. So really the only way to get this for the cheapest amount is to buy it with the Shawshank Redemption, which, if you don't own the Shawshank Redemption, like, that's an incredible film as well. So an incredible value to get both of those in this double pack. Definitely probably the definitive way to purchase it in the physical media format, at least the cheapest way to get it. So let's go ahead and move on to my number 4 recommendation. And this is a movie that I didn't love the first time I saw it, but I've watched it again recently, and the movie is really growing on me as a film. It is a classic film directed by Mike Nichols, came out in 1967, and that is The Graduate. This is a kind of coming of age film, like seduction type film, kind of comedy, but also drama. As well, about this kid that's kind of making his way through life, and he falls in love with this older woman, and how that relationship kind of gets toxic, and then he falls in love with her daughter, and then how that relationship becomes toxic because of his old relationship with their mother. And there's just a lot of things going on with this movie. The thing that put me off the most about this film was the ending, but this movie is just, it's honestly like, it kind of creeps up on me just how much I actually probably like it. It's a movie that stays with you. Like, after you watch it, you think about it, and yeah, it's a great film. It's directed phenomenally. I mean, by Mike Nichols. The cinematography is great. Like, this is just that iconic shot where he's like walking in and her legs up in the air like that. Like, this movie, it looks fantastic. So yeah, if you haven't seen The Graduate, it is a movie that I think that everybody does need to see at least once, even if it doesn't resonate with you fully on the first watch. I do think it's a movie that can grow with you in time, like it did with me. And this is available right now, guys. I believe it was added this month in February, actually, to HBO Max. So if you have HBO Max, they have a lot of great selection in their Turner Classics. So definitely check that out on HBO Max. The Blu-ray version of this for the standard is $8.73, so not a bad price at all. Now, if you want the Criterion, the special edition Criterion set, that is $39.99, the full price for that. So honestly, if you want the Criterion, I would wait till around July this year for the 50% off sale. But yeah, The Graduate, great movie, not taking nothing away from it. Definitely check it out. Moving on to number 5, and my last recommendation of the day is a movie that I think is just unfairly criticized, mostly by critics, because I don't hear a lot of like real movie fans, like everyday movie fans, talking trash about this movie. But when I was looking it up to talk about it, this movie has a whopping 29% on Rotten Tomatoes, which is ridiculous to me, because this is like a movie from my childhood that I remember loving growing up. And this is the kind of Steven Spielberg's take on the classic Peter Pan tale, and that is Hook from 1991. I love Hook so much. I have not seen it in such a long time. I do have the 4K here, which I'll talk about here in a second, but and I haven't watched it on 4K since I bought it, but I love Hook. I've been meaning to revisit it with my kids. It's just such a good story. Yeah, it's a little long, and it takes a little bit long to get to Neverland, to kind of get to the meat and the heart of the story. But yeah, just another film with Dustin Hoffman. I didn't even realize that I went from a Dustin Hoffman film to another one with Hook. So that's kind of funny. But yeah, Dustin Hoffman as Captain Hook is so good. And yeah, this is really Hook's story, but it's also a good deal Peter Pan's story as well. And Robin Williams, man, that guy can do no wrong. He's like always so good in everything he's in. He's given 110%. And that's no different in this movie. Like, he's fantastic as Peter Pan. I just love the story of this. Like, this is my favorite Peter Pan story, just how he can't remember who he was and how he's kind of forced into remembering through his interactions with the Lost Boys and his time spent in Neverland. It's just such a cool movie. Julia Roberts is fantastic as Tinkerbell. You got Bob Hoskins as Shmi. I mean, Rufio. Come on, you remember that at the end? Rufio, Rufio. It's just such a good scene, such a good movie. It's got great action. It's just a great like swashbuckling adventure film. And yeah, just talking about it, I just want to go out and watch it right now. This movie was recently added to Netflix. So it is on Netflix right now, which everybody has Netflix. So if you have Netflix and you haven't seen Hook and you've been put off by that 29% Rotten Tomato score, I have no idea what the hell that is. It shouldn't have a 29%. It should be like an 80 or something. But definitely watch Hook on Netflix. It is fantastic. Now the 4K, which I bought this last year. I think I bought it for like 15. So I honestly should have waited because I haven't even watched it yet. But it's $11.99 on Amazon for the 4K of Hook. And this is a movie that probably looks fantastic in 4K. Like it has amazing like visuals and set design. And yeah, Hook is fantastic. It's great. If you haven't seen it for some reason and you're put off by this, don't listen to them. Watch Hook. It's awesome. Great Robin Williams film. But yeah, that is going to do it for my random movie recommendations and honestly ramblings. I feel like I've been rambling here with you all for a while, but yeah, I love doing these videos. They're super awesome. If you guys could, leave me some feedback below. Do you like this type of stuff? Do you like these recommendation videos? Which one of the movies that I talked about with you here today is your favorite? Do you have any recommendations for me? Leave it all in the comments below. Make sure you like the video, subscribe to the channel if you haven't already, and turn on all bell notifications for future videos. And we'll see you next time.